Now that you're starting to see more female current athletes and former athletes have a seat at the table, it's about freaking time. I'm Leslie Osborne, and sports is big business. Women's sports is even bigger.
Leslie, thanks for joining us.
Our asset as an athlete is our time, our experiences, our success, our brand image and likeness, everything. That is a massive asset and the credibility.
Is Trinity Rodman the NWSL's Nessie?
Trinity Rodman is so talented, and I love who she is. She's authentic, she shows up, she's diverse, she's bold, she's fierce.
Today on Portfolio Players, I sit down with the former U.S. Women's National Team soccer player, Leslie Osborne. She's a co-founder and owner of Bay FC, the NWSL team. She's also invested in Unrivaled, TGL, and a number of other upstart sports properties. We talked about why women's sports is big business.
Welcome back to Portfolio Players, presented by E-Trade from Morgan Stanley. I'm Dan Roberts with Front Office Sports. We're coming at you from San Francisco this time, and I've got the great athlete investor, Leslie Osborne. Leslie, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for the kind intro, and welcome to the Bay.
Thank you very much. The Bay FC we can talk about.
Yes.
Your NWSL team. We could start there.
Let's start there.
What an origin story.
The origin story? You want to hear it? Short version?
It's quite a story, and in many ways, it's representative of where things have gone with team ownership and franchise creation, I think.
Yeah. 4 of us, co-founders, all former Santa Clara Broncos, professional soccer players. We played on the U.S. national team together. We all knew when we retired from the game that wouldn't just be it for us. We knew that we would stay in the game, whether it was broadcasting, but coming together, I called them the moment Angel City launched in 2020 in the beginning of COVID. And I said, hey, Angel City's doing this in LA. We got to be doing it here. The fact we didn't have a women's professional sports team at that time at all. Now we have the Valkyries. Now we have a Love volleyball coming. But at that time, there was no women's professional sports teams, let alone the Bay. There was some hesitation, I would say, between the 4 of us. We've tried 2 times before in 2 iterations. It failed. But we felt like the learnings had happened, and we felt like if we put together a kick-ass ownership group and learn from the previous, that we had an opportunity. I mean, this place is innovative. There's so much opportunity with tech companies and tech founders and partnerships and sponsorships. And our mission and vision was to bring a team here and become a global brand. Bay FC, we don't have a mascot. We have a logo. We want everyone around the world to know who we are and have an amazing product on the field. But we also want to be proud of what our players go and do after. We're here in Silicon Valley. This ecosystem here is different than any other market.
Of innovation.
Exactly. It's different than any other market in the country and world. And we want our players to be exposed to our amazing owners, the partners that we have, and just the opportunity here to go and maybe try other things. And so, yeah, it was a crazy grassroots style, first 2 years. And then we met 6th Street, and they were able to take our vision and bring it to life and get the expansion bid for $53 million, which is crazy because Angel City, I know you just had Alexis on.
I was just going to bring this up.
Literally
the valuations.
The valuations and the expansion price at that point was $2 million, and we paid $53 million. The craziest part about Bay FC is the runway that we had. We only had 9 months. So the fact that we got that team and launched in 9 months, I think it's still the fastest runway for a professional sports team. It's crazy. It's been a ride. I'm just so proud that we sold out our home opener last season, 2024, 18,000 people, and just proud of the work that we put in and thankful for all the investors that believed in us, and with the right business model and with the right expertise, and 6th Street coming in with everything that they bring and our soccer background and expertise. It's a great team.
You talk about the 4 names as you, Brandy Chastain,
Allie Wagner,
yes,
and Danielle Slayton.
And the point is, those are known names. And so I feel like there's a lot here. I mean, you mentioned 6th Street. There's bringing in, private capital, and that's a huge trend in sports right now. But we're really seeing how much known athletes, and then in many cases, not even athletes, but actors and celebrities can do for the ownership group of a team. You gave a lot of credit there to Angel City. Angel City was first, arguably, but still, Bay AFC so early that, you know, I'd credit you guys as one of the kind of progenitors too of this trend. Now we're seeing it across sports, where it's both with new franchises and, you know, expansion franchises, I should say, but also established teams that are bringing on, even if it's a tiny stake in many cases, I'm sure, you know, you benefit from their whole network. You keep adding and expanding that way.
It's smart business. You're bringing their assets along, and our asset as an athlete is our time, our experiences, our success, our brand name, image, and likeness, everything. That is a massive asset, and the credibility. And then when athletes are at the table, they can give their input on what they learn, what they see. And that, for us, especially in women's sports and females becoming owners, that was an asset that we didn't have access to. So the fact that we have this asset class now, that you're starting to see more female current athletes and former athletes have a seat at the table, it's about freaking time, but it's also a smart business move.
You mentioned Alexis Ohanian. You know, he came in and did this series. He had some interesting remarks about the founding days of Angel City. He had said it elsewhere, but maybe not in quite as vociferous a way. He said on the show that, you know, when he created the team, you had similarly the group of prominent faces. And he said, I was the money, but I wasn't really the power and the face of it. And he seemed maybe a little salty about that. What do you make of those comments as the years have gone by and what has transpired with the team?
Yeah, I think we learned so much from Angel City. They were an ally for us. Like, Julie Ehrman was a big piece to us, like being prepared and succeeding in the league. But we also got to learn from what they did. And they had a massive cap table. Yes, they brought these celebrities on board, but they also had 80 other people on board. And that's, you know, that there's pros and cons to that, right? So I think we had an opportunity to kind of look at some of the amazing things they did with their community outreach and their partnerships. I mean, I think they got DoorDash immediately for $1 million. Like, that at that time was unheard of. Yeah. But I also think that we learned from some of those things. Like, we don't want 90 people on our cap table. And yes, we do have some celebrity names involved, like Sabrina Ionescu, obviously, like an amazing, huge, kick-ass female athlete. But we don't have 10 celebrities on our team. So I think Sixth Street has been really awesome with having their institutional knowledge and expertise in Real Madrid and Barcelona and the other teams that they've dipped into, but it's been this like collective effort of like strengths and weaknesses and expertise. And like, yeah, our success has come from on the field. However, we also have a lot of influence. Like, we know where our players stand. Like, we're the product. Like, we literally, when we created this team, wanted to make sure that every decision for the club was based around the players. And that's a smart business move, but that's also a place where we want everyone around the world to want to come here to Bay FC. So I think Angel City we learned a lot from them. They've gone through some structural changes, and obviously with, like, you know, their valuation was skyrocketed, and you can see why. But I think that it's an opportunity where we're all trying to raise that bar and continue to raise that standard and learn from each other. Like, that's the whole point. We just want to keep, you know, raising the bar. And hopefully now with Atlanta coming in and Denver will be in and Boston, like, that's where it's trending. And in terms of ownership and who's coming in, it's doing the same thing.
You're doing my job for me because I want to bring up Boston. You played for the Boston Breakers.
I know.
And I'm from the Boston area. I mean, I remember that era. Yeah. And now we're getting the legacy.
Yes. Yes, Boston deserves to have women's professional sports soccer team like that. The Boston Breakers were so beloved in the WUSA and WPS. I was fortunate enough to play there in the WPS. That is such a special sports city. And
the ultimate sports city. I'm a little biased.
Okay, well, the Bay Area, if you didn't know, got ranked #1 sports city in women's sports, but I'll let you have that one. But playing for the Breakers there was immense pride. And our fans we didn't fold because of the fans. Let's just put it that way. There were structural problems with the leagues at that time. Boston is going to crush it. Like, I just believe people are going to show up and show out. That ownership group, you know, she's coming from the Celtics family. She's got experience, Jennifer, on the Celtics side. And she's putting this team together around that I really think is going to continue to raise that bar in excellence in our league. And now with Denver too, like, what two amazing expansion teams that have come that are just continuing to elevate the league.
We're here at Super Bowl week, and I just sat down and chatted with Jess Berman, the NWSL commissioner. We were talking about the expansion. 1 year ago, we interviewed her at Super Bowl Radio Row, and she had kind of a mini viral soundbite. She said there's no reason that NWSL franchises can't eventually be valued like NFL franchises.
Whoa.
And, that's tall talk. That's big talk. But she talked about the trajectory and rate of growth. Is there any other league where the expansion fees have grown so quickly, the franchise valuations? What do you think about the future for this league specifically?
I mean, if you would have told me that Angel City would have paid $2 million and we would have paid $53 million, I would have bet a lot of money that we were prepared going into that expansion bid that around $10 million. And we paid 53. And then guess what? Boston got into for 53. So they took both of us. And Boston had 2 more years of runway. Like we had 9 months, they had 2 years. So when I think about Denver, 115, I think about Atlanta, 165. I'm like, well, we see where this is trending, right? But it's this asset class that's been behind. We've been compared to men's leagues that have been around for decades. So the trajectory and the growth is so high. If you put more resources and capital and you hire top talent, look what happens. I mean, top talent, building a community, the fandom, like the cultural relevance, like Bay FC and the Valkyries are a perfect example of how you can capture a city and absolutely crush it. So yeah, Jess, that's aggressive. But I love it. That's where she is trending. And honestly, there's so much momentum. I just think we have to be smart about it. We have to be very intentional and strategic with how we're building this out because it can't go rogue. We don't want 30 teams in the next 5 years. So what are we doing with it and what's our plan? But do I think maybe one day NFL is a little aggressive, but I like where things are trending.
Good to have big targets.
It is. You want a leader like that, right? Like, hey, the sky's let's go. Like it makes you want to get behind that. And honestly, there's a ton of belief. Look at women's sports. Like, look at this. Like,
it's big business.
It's big business.
As we like to say.
Yes.
You just said back then or years ago, it was women's sports were often compared to the men's sports in terms of the trajectory and the values. And do you think that's still the case? I mean, so much progress has been made, but certainly, and I'm a journalist, so I live on Twitter.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing a lot of the trolls on Twitter and the responses when we write about ratings for the W and Unrivaled and all that stuff. But do you feel like, you're still combating being compared to the major men's leagues?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it's going to be like that for a while. You need time. I mean, you look at the MLS even 10 years ago to where they're at right now. You look at how one player like Messi can transcend a league, right? So yes, I think oftentimes we are still compared and we're just getting started. Look at us in 5 years, 10 years, right? But that's why the trajectory and the opportunity here is so high, is because we do have a massive runway. We have so much potential. And when we talk about bringing in former players, current players, celebrities into these ownership groups, that just helps elevate, I think, everything. And to the trolls out there, hey, we're moving pretty quickly. Some teams are profitable, some are not.
MLS too, by the way.
Exactly.
Not every MLS team.
You just said it.
Lose money.
It's the truth. So if you're going to do that, you better do that to everybody.
Is Trinity Rodman the NWSL's Messi? I mean, we've got a new rule thanks to her in terms of salary and the contract situation.
No, she's not Messi. I don't know if we have a female player like Messi, but Trinity Rodman is a star. Trinity Rodman, I think, should be the face of this league. Everywhere we go, NWSL, Trinity Rodman is so talented. And I love who she is. She's authentic. She shows up. She's diverse. She's bold. She's fierce. The way she plays on the field, the way she carries herself. We need more. But Trinity Rodman, if we would have lost her, it would have set us back. We've already lost top players. We were not going to lose Trinity.
To international clubs.
To international clubs.
More money. Yes.
Yeah, we've got restraints that they don't. Losing Trinity would have been a huge loss for us, but we have her. And what I love about Trinity is she wants to be here. Washington is her home. She didn't want to go anywhere. Yeah, the numbers had to work and it's a business, but I love players that want to be on their team, show up and bring that Washington Spirit logo and crest everywhere they go. That is what's going to help the NWSL, I think, be at the top league in the world. Yes, we have restrictions like our salary cap that hopefully will, but those are the players that we want. Is how can we get more international talent to come over here and bring their social media presence, bring their product on the field, but continue to elevate? Because we're the most competitive league in the world, but I don't know if we're the best league in the world. That's what we're competing against. And there have to be structural changes within our league in order for us to compete with some of these big contracts and big players.
I'm glad you said she should be the face of the league, because there's a lot there. If you look over at the W, Caitlin Clark was an enormous thing for them, but also ended up being a kind of fraught thing culturally where, people thought, well, don't give her all the credit. It's not just Caitlin. Yeah. And just to name another NWSL star, we love Midge Purse. She's done a lot with FOS. Yeah. But is there danger in latching onto one person as the face of the moment for a certain league? But by the way, in the men's leagues too, we talk about the face of the league.
Yeah. I think it's good and bad. Like I said, I want more stars. But Trinity, I think, was a critical piece in the trajectory of our league. And I also want to, when we think about Caitlin Clark and some of that drama, you got to give thanks to the people that paved the way for Caitlin to get to where she's at. Similar to our league, like the 99ers, Carly Lloyds, Alex Morgans, Abby Wambach, Brandy Chastain. Like, I'm lucky to be surrounded by Brandy Chastain on a daily basis. Like, that is the most influential, powerful moments I have. Like, to be able to give thanks for the people who have opened these doors and for Trinity to be able to sign a contract like this. And I even read a quote from Trinity saying, people helped me get to this point. This is not Trinity in our league. This is what we have worked so hard for and have to continue to work hard to be able to keep top talent and continue to break more barriers and stay the best league in the world.
We've talked about soccer this whole time.
Oh, this is volleyball. You know what? Soccer show.
Sure. Soccer's your thing. But now you're in volleyball. You're wearing the jacket. Talk about LOVB.
Yeah. I'm super pumped and excited. I think volleyball is going to be the next thing. I'm
certainly at the college level, by the way. It's
there's 90,000 people coming to Nebraska games. It's insane. Even in Love, it's the first women's professional sports team. It's a youth to pro pipeline. It's the number one sport in the country for girls. There are 900 million people in the world that play volleyball. There's 48 professional leagues, and Love is the top 3 competitive professional leagues around the world. What attracted me most about this opportunity is the way that they treat their players. They have a 4-month season, but they're protected and paid all year long. Health insurance, maternity. They help players prepare for what's next. You know me, I speak a lot about, I want to help players figure out what are they going to do post-playing. Love is actually preparing their players in internships, their passions, maybe jobs, and trying to figure it out while they play. That's really important to me. They're also paying their players minimum salary, $60,000 for a 4-month contract, and then can pay. And players don't have to go to Lithuania and Germany to play if they don't want to. If they want to, great. But now there's an option to play professional volleyball in our country. There's also another league called MLV and Athletes Unlimited who has a 6-week. So there are options now. To get to this point where girls know they can go play in college and then have a professional pathway, like that is what we've been working so hard to do. Why I'm in love San Francisco is we're a proven market now with what we've done at Bay, what the Valkyries sold out every single game. Was it 17 or 18 games?
Enormous success, yeah.
I mean, we are the epicenter for women's sports. And guess what? Love is going to be in the off season of NWSL and the W. So nobody has to be bored. No one has to be bored here. You just keep on going from soccer to basketball to Love year round. And our fandom here, like it's amazing. And to be able to see Bay FC come to life and Valkyries and Danielle Slayton and Brandy Chastain are also involved in the ownership group. I've helped bring current and former athletes to the investor table. So we've got Allie Riley from Angel City who's involved, Ari Chambers, who's an ESPN host. We've got Alex Kleinman, who is a professional former volleyball player. We've got Natalie Coughlin, an Olympic swimmer. Like, I want more opportunities for current and former athletes to get on the cap table. No longer are we just putting on our work on the field. we are now have a seat at the table. And I believe that it is an opportunity to be a teammate and bring people in. And the deal access that we have between current and former players, like Abby Wambach and I texting about opportunities, and Alex Morgan, this is like such a different ecosystem than what I had 6 years ago.
You just called the Bay Area the epicenter for women's sports. I'm gonna start a little rivalry here because Portland held an event calling themselves the epicenter for women's sports.
I know
You've
KK.
got the fire and the thorns.
Yes, I know Karina LeBlanc very well. We're good friends, and she's the one running that show. And so if she wants to borrow that tagline, I understand. But hey, I do have to give props to Portland. I mean, what they're doing, and now with the fire coming, I mean, it's. And if you've been to a Portland Thorns game or Timbers game,
I've heard about it.
You need to go.
Yeah.
It's in the city. You literally walk there, and it's an experience as a player and as a fan that is pretty incredible. And you should go check it out.
Yeah, that is very cool. You know, you talk about how there's 3 now volleyball leagues. I mean, many more than 3, but these big 3 newest ones in the US. When you look across multiple sports, not all of these are going to succeed, right? Like, you know, it starts to feel, is it frothy yet?
Yeah.
Or we're in the opening innings where it's very exciting to launch, but then can you sustain and grow for 5, 10, 15 years?
But that's what I think the upside of women's sports is like the durability. Like I actually believe, and I'm speaking for women's, not TGL, I believe the durability is there. I spoke on a panel, said something similar to you did. And a woman, a former Nike executive who runs Trailblazing Sports she goes, there's always time for media rights and broadcasting deals. ESPN shows, dog shows. There will always be an opportunity for these leagues, emerging leagues and teams to get airtime, whether it's streaming, broadcast. So she kind of like changed the way I was thinking about, because I'm with you. I'm like, how is this all going to, like, even flag football, like tackle football, girls tackle football, flag football.
There's only so much airtime. You think.
Exactly. So I think at some point, there will have to be a convergence of, like, for volleyball, there's 3 leagues, 2 really MLV love is, I see them funneling in together and being one. I love the pathway, leagues, like that's important, the developmental leagues, but it has to be like the D League, right? You know what you're going into and you're going to work up. Like, I think that's where volleyball needs, but the fact we're here and the fact that we're like talking about too much for so long as an athlete and now former athlete, we fought for opportunities, pathways, professional teams and leagues. And we are finally at a place where we have options. We have scalability. We have players that can go, do I want to play in the WPSL? Do I want to go overseas? Do I want to play in the NWSL? Like, options. How amazing is that? So I'm going to enjoy this, right? And get to that maybe problem another time, because you know what? We haven't been able to be in this situation before.
Yeah. It's a good position to be in. It's a position of strength. What TGL and Unrivaled have in common, it seems to me, that's very smart, as well as many of these other leagues. I mean, Athletes Unlimited is doing this, is the limited edition season. It's contained. It's exciting the whole time. It's a short run. You better tune in because it's only a few weeks. Yeah. And I think what we've seen over time is that these big established men's pro leagues in the US, the season is too long. Yeah. And with so many other distractions, not just other sports, by the way, Netflix. I mean, other things to watch. MLB and NBA and the NHL especially, they've seen, ratings dips in many seasons because the season is just inexorable. Yeah. And they're all trying to make their all-star format more exciting, something in the middle of the year, the NBA in-season tournament, something to get people excited again. So I guess, is this the future, the shorter model?
I don't know if it's the future, but I do think it's so complementary. Like, I don't know if you've been to a TGL event yet or Unrivaled, but it's a media thing, and it's entertaining, and it's the lights and the cameras, and you feel like, where am I? And it's emotional because you're there. And honestly, Unrivaled, they may be our league. Like, depending on how negotiations play out, like, it's entertaining. It's fun to watch and to be there. Like, you feel like, I'm in a special place and not a lot of people have this opportunity. And that's also like, people have got FOMO. They're an opportunity for players to make more money. They're an opportunity to get more brand deals. Like, look at all these amazing partners. Sephora coming in, like, it's incredible. But I do think that the media model is so important. And I think it's adding this twist that we haven't seen before. And I think more people are trying to replicate it in their sport to have that entertaining factor because it's fun.
So you're in NWSL.
Yes.
You're in love, volleyball.
Yes.
It's funny to say in love.
Yes.
I'm in love with San Francisco.
Yeah.
TGL, Unrivaled. What are you not in that you would like to be?
Well, my husband and his business partner are former professional soccer players. And they started a small sports venture fund called Rolo. And we started doing angel investments. We probably got about 20. But in the last 5 years, a lot of the focus and ethos has been towards sports. So Just Women's Sports, Padel House, Bay FC, Unrivaled, Chelsea Women's Football Club we're now into. And my husband and his partner saw an opportunity here, and they bring this strategic approach where they're all athletes that are part of LPs, Josie Altidore, Marisa Dew. These are players who have lived the experience and can help these, companies and teams. And it's fun. I just wish I would have been educated and been introduced to this while I played. And I think the opportunity that current athletes have while they're playing to start getting into ownership groups, to start investing in leagues and teams and tech companies, you have such a head start, and you're going to create that generational wealth, not just that paycheck that your agent's trying to get you, that $100K deal. It's no, I want the $100K deal and I want equity in the company. Right. That's the approach and model that we want, especially for female athletes, because we don't make as much money.
VC is one thing. We're seeing such a huge boom in athletes and celebrities wanting to own a piece of a team, even any sport. Yeah. I mean, you mentioned padel, pickleball, horse racing. Yeah. We wrote about a new wiffle ball league. It's anything and everything. If I can be an owner, why has that dramatically increased in the last decade? I mean, it's always been a great investment to own a piece of a sports team, but suddenly there's a moment happening. Everyone wants to be an owner.
It's sexy. Sports have been emotional, but I think I also think it's awakening for athletes, and I'll talk more from the athlete perspective than celebrity. It's also it's about time we use our asset, as being a current or former professional athlete. We actually not only deserve to have a seat at the table, but we're actually deserve to be heard. And we have this asset that nobody else around that table has. And I think when athletes show up like that, to say, I bring experience, I bring expertise, I lived it, that value for a company is smart too. So the celebrity is I don't know as much. It's a trend, I think, but I think for the athlete thing, it's Natalie Portman. What was so cool about Natalie? She said she got in because her son. Those stories are so impactful too. And Alexis Ohanian didn't even know about the U.S. Women's National Team and didn't really know soccer until the 2019 World Cup. And I love just those stories about hearing people and what moment just changed things for them. You know what I mean? That was the Kickstarter of why I wanted to start a team or invest in a team, because they can be super impactful.
I'll give you my own moment. I went to some Liberty games with my daughter.
I heard
she's
they're
2.5.
Amazing.
They're incredible. I mean, it's more exciting than a Brooklyn Nets game. It's crazy.
I heard Ellie is the top mascot.
Every single thing they do, they've mastered it.
Have you been to a Valkyries game?
The whole game. No Valkyries.
I'd like to challenge you on that. So
you can take.
I'll go to the Liberty game. You can, and I'll host you at Valkyries. Okay. And in a year from now, we're going to come back on here and say, hey,
it's a good plan.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have. The experience is such a big piece to it, and the revenue models and what our teams can do. You go to a Valkyries game, especially, you've got Sephora balloons floating from the air and kids and people just going crazy. And there's just this opportunity and I think flexibility that women's sports can do right now and get away with. So it's a fun time. And I'm grateful to be on this ride.
Leslie, let's end on this. Your best advice for people, not just athletes, investing, business, career, best advice you ever got?
Hard work always pays off. I'm a Midwest gal from Wisconsin. I think that was ingrained from the start from my parents, who both business owners. And I just, hard work will always pay off, no matter what you do. And I'm also living in a time where I have 3 daughters and they watch every move I make. And if I just do one thing for them to know that they can go out and do anything, because my husband and we've surrounded them around so many badass women and men that they actually believe that anything is possible. So work hard and go after your dreams. Like, I didn't think I'd be sitting here being a founder, owner of 2 women's professional sports team. And it's because of my path, but also my mentors, my support system, and dreaming big.
Great answer. Work hard. I love it. Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you for having me. Great conversation.
Great stuff.
I'll see you in a year when we talk Liberty and Valk's best game day experience.
Super Bowl in LA next year, unfortunately, but maybe we come here first.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Thank you.